Okay, thanks for coming to tonight's I'll say more like impromptu webinar about Airbnb and what's happening in Asia. Perhaps a little bit an update of what's happening on outside the world where you guys are. I'm actually currently in Vietnam here in Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City. And where are you guys? I think Mark, you're down in Costa Rica now, or Puerto Rico?
Yeah,
Costa Rica, right?
We were away for a month. We were in Mexico and Canada. Now we're back in Costa Rica.
This is awesome. I love traveling around the world and doing business. How about you guys?
It's the best.
Yeah, I know Andrew is also in Hawaii as well, right? So
yep. And soon to be in
if
Mexico.
There's any waiting room if there's a waiting room, Mark, just turn it off so that we just automatically people can come in. For those folks who are coming out tonight, you guys have a special treat. I'll share as much as I can about how I'm able to do Airbnb and all that, or why I've been started Airbnb in Asia. And as hopefully you can have a good idea of what's possible and what's not possible, right? Any question, feel free to raise your hand and Mark will chime in and maybe interrupt me as I speak as well to give you maybe answer your question, give you a deeper insight.
Or stick your question in the chat and I will be monitoring the chat.
There you go. Yeah. So I'll go through as fast as I can, but there's a lot to cover.
Now, Sue, is your slideshow supposed to be open?
Yes. Is it not open?
Nope.
Okay. So give me share. Give me screen share. Sorry. You have to give me screen share.
Share your screen.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm going to have to let you. One sec.
Yes.
You're back to being a host.
Okay. Hold on. I'll share my screen first then. Screen sharing is on. There you go.
There you go.
So. All right. So you want to take the host back or you have recording still?
Should still, yeah, it's still recording. We're all good.
Oh, good. Okay, that's perfect. I'll leave this the way it is so I can see everything there. All right. So tonight, I'll give you recording. I'll give you access to host, Mark, because I won't be able to see anything else. And I'm just going to be fully on this side. Where are you, host participants? Okay.
No, see, Sue, you knocked yourself out. You can make him a co-host.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
I think you can make him a co-host.
Okay. All right. Oh, we can grab it back then. This is bad, right?
I just made you a host again.
And you share your screen.
Let me go back. Can you see the screen yet or no?
Nope.
Not yet?
Yeah.
Okay. I have to expand this and screen share it again. Okay, so we'll leave the way it is then. All right, push this out of the way. So for those of you who don't know me, I've been a mortgage broker for most of my life, formerly a CIBC banker in the past, worked there for a decade, and then I went to their broker channel. I've been there for the last 20 years. And ever since personally 2017 to around 2017, 18, I started teaching commercial financing to all the mortgage brokers. I'm gonna give me a second, guys. I'm gonna remove that room because people are still coming in on the waiting room, disabled waiting room. Here it is. All right.
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't see the waiting room.
So late strike. Yeah, so late strikers will come in by themselves. Yeah, so I've been teaching commercial financing to mortgage brokers as well as helping them with their customers that can't get financing inside the broker channel or else have to go to B lending or private lending. I've taught them how to access all the other banks outside, including offshore bankers and like foreign bankers, right? Chinese bank, Taiwanese, Iranian bank, and all that. And I've been doing that since COVID, teaching from everywhere that I've traveled to, whether it's Vietnam or Indonesia. And it's been a great life. So I hope I can share this with you guys tonight, and maybe you can join along with me and Mark as well. Do what you love, right? And get to travel around the world and make money. So here's the thing about doing what I love. I love computers, and Mark probably knows this. Sue's a computer geek too, just like him. But the problem is that over the years, the value is lower and lower and lower. And, technology gets more complicated, more and more stuff you got to learn. It's a hard pace. You have to catch up all the time, right? And because so many people in technology base, the value that people get from, a tech guy has been diminished over time. That's what I saw. And I'm sure Mark would chime in and share the same feeling. And we became specialized. But then, over the years, you get sick of the rat race and try something new, right? So I did try commercial fishing. That wasn't for me. I first of all, I didn't know how to swim. And after the second year, the boat that I was on sank. Thank God there was lifeguard came and rescued us in the middle of the nowhere. I went back on land. I learned how to swim, by the way. So today I know how to swim. I went into rehabbing places, fix and flipping place real estate because I thought that was a great thing to do. A chance to make lots of money. But with that comes a lot of painful lessons too as well. I'm sure anybody who's into rehab and fix and flip, when your budget's messed up or when the cost overruns, is kills your ROI that you expected. Not so much fun, right? And it's grueling because you're working long hours, and especially when you're in the trades, painting or drywalling, all that stuff, right? Not the best of things. And I also went into business, right? Running a burger joints, breakfast and lunch place. After 3 years, had enough. No more of that stuff. All right. So these are things I thought I loved doing, but I found that I didn't really love it after a while, right? So the thing when people say, all the girls out there say, do what you love. I thought about doing what I love. And you know what? It literally is a lot of bullshit. And if you're trying to learn from gurus that teach you how to make big money, they're just trying to make more money out of what they really know. And if they're teaching it, that means they're probably going downhill. They're leaving this industry, or they're probably kicking back because they've had enough, right? So chances are they're no longer in the trench as they used to be either. And I can tell you that my partners did the same thing. They spent money on these gurus, and they do teach you stuff, but it's not enough until you do it, right? So when I started doing Airbnb, I realized how difficult it was, and all the guru out there that trying to sell you stuff, even especially on Instagram, I see a ton of them still, right? They're probably winding down their business, and I'm telling you why, because in the US, it's tough to do Airbnb right now. Yeah. So do what you love, and then money will follow. Well, yes and no, right? That's what I found. It doesn't always. If you go to Bali, for example, right? There are a lot of life coaches there, and I can tell you they're not making money. So they're all doing what they love, but they're making squat. And that's the reason why they're in Bali, because it's so inexpensive there, and it's so cheap. And I'll give you an example later on of what I did I leased a property there to use as Airbnb. So the lesson is this: yes, you can do what you love, or you can do better. All right? Because if I don't like what I'm doing, but I've been making a ton of money, I'm sure I'm going to enjoy doing it, whether I really love it or not. Does that make sense? Right, Mark? Like when you're doing rehabbing all those apartment building, right? It's not quite love until the money starts flowing, right?
That's what makes it all worthwhile in the end.
Exactly. Right. So here's the thing, though. We are in the business of opportunity. We're opportunists. Okay, that's the way I look at it. We learn from our past failures, what worked, what doesn't work, and bring it to the next level, bring it to the next game, right? But the challenge that a lot of people are facing right now today, especially, I'm speaking to you. If you're in this webinar right now, I'm speaking to you directly. See, the problem is that we're chasing the same thing that everybody's doing, all right? So you're practicing to catch the ball from where they're throwing instead of looking at where that's going to go, right? Just like this little meme here in this football play. You can't foresee the future, but you have an good indication of what's going to happen next, right? History proven in the past. There's a lot of temporary issues that happens that pops up around the world all the time. If you guys go way back, especially like when Quebec was about to leave Canada, anybody remember that? There's a big giant movement, right? Separatists, right? They want to leave Canada, and I swear, I tried to get my partners and a whole bunch of people around me to go invest in Quebec. we made a killing because everybody's selling those houses at like half the price, even below cost to build. Right? Today we would be like billionaires if we bought a half a dozen or a dozen of those houses in Quebec. Right? Think about that. So those are temporary issues that I see that pops up, that flares up everywhere around the world all the time. Right? Same thing in the United States. Right? Detroit. You guys remember what Detroit looked like several years ago? Look at it today. Right? They're leaving houses. They're like abandoning houses. You can buy a house for like $2,000. Today, you got to spend quite a bit of fortune compared to that time. So practice for where you want to be. If you want to be in this game, start practicing. Start doing it. All right. So I started practicing at home. Right. I started practicing my Airbnb in Surrey, and then outside of Surrey with my other partners, right? And even in Florida. But the problem is this: the real estate in North America skyrocketed over time. And since everybody's doing Airbnb, you know what happened to the rental market, right? It got pushed up higher and higher and higher. And then there's a lot of people who don't like Airbnb. It's NIMBYism, right? Not in my backyard. Everywhere you go, you see it happening in USA right now. Like even entire Texas, the state of Texas, they're trying to get rid of the Airbnb. It's like, oh my God, that's a huge chunk of people's business out there. One of my mentors' business is in Texas, right? Huge part of his portfolio is down there. So that's a huge problem. Strata Council, HOA, like Homeowners Association in the United States, they're pushing all the Airbnb people out, right? Unless you have a big major seat on Strata Council, you're gonna lose your business over time. So this is the reason why I look into Asia. We don't have any of this stuff. Here they have no even clue what Airbnb is, even though they've been using it for years. You know, they use Agoda, they use Booking.com and all that stuff, right? But in the United States also, okay? And I know that in Canada to a bit, I think in Vancouver, the hotel lobbyists are pretty strong, right? They lobby the municipal government, they lobby the whatever, right? The state, the provincial government to ban or to make it much difficult for people to short-term rental nowadays, right? I'm not a proponent or against it. I'm just an opportunist, right? When opportunity exists, I take it, right? So hotel lobbyists don't exist in outside, like in Asia, everywhere I've been to, they don't exist, right? Sure, there is bribery to a certain extent, but the people usually win here. Even though I'm here in communist country in Vietnam, we seem to have way more freedom here than when COVID happened in North America, right? I was able to travel all over, whereas you guys were stuck in Canada, United States. Yeah? So why rental arbitrage in Asia? Competition disappeared. The hotels they're coming back, but they're so short-staffed. They're so short-staffed, right? There's not enough for them to rent a hotel. And a lot of the hotels actually went out of business. Tons of hotels went out of business. Even in Bali, like it's whacked because of now there's a huge pent-up demand, but in tourism, but there's not enough supply. So everything else is going up in price in short-term rentals, right? The remaining hotels are skyrocketing. They're like 300% of the price what it was before COVID. It's crazy. I don't know. They're getting away with it because people need a place to stay when they go into Bali, right? But the other thing is this, because there's a lot of build up of housings literally in Asia. Yeah, China's worse. I mean, that's overbuilt, right? But anywhere in Asia, they've really built up too much. And I got luxury condos here, left and right, at a fraction of what it cost me for a 1-bedroom in Surrey. All right. So think about that. Right. I live in a 33rd floor right now. I'm speaking for you. And the view is the river is right in front of me. Right. I have river view on a 33rd floor, and I pay less than a 1-bedroom in Surrey. Right. These are luxury rental. It's just amazing. Right. So that's the other reason why. Now, you can say what you want about people, right? You can say they're good, they're bad, they're whatever. For me, I'm an opportunist, right? I don't care what those idiots are arguing about, whether it's Biden or whether it's Trump. I could care less, all right? I'm just go out and drink the wine when they're just arguing. So that's what you should be doing. I don't know, right? Mark and I and Andrew and both Andrews are looking around the world, and we're seeing lots of opportunity. There's so much that you guys can take advantage of. There's real estate deals, there's foreclosure deals still happening, and you know what? Go and make money. So before you start, you need to know what you want to do first, right? I'm very analytical. I come from a computer background, so go figure, right? I did a lot of research before I started, right? And I strongly suggest you do that too, because if you don't, you're just gonna make mistakes and use your hard-earned money, and you can fail miserably, like I have in other business in the past, right? Airbnb, same. You can only do the research and hope for the best, but at least do the research, right? Find out what your target market's gonna be, what you want, what's ideal people that you want. See, for some people, they might chase after the nurses, right? There's a lot of nurses that travel around the United States, and they pay a premium to stay at short-term rental because their contracts are 3 months, 6 months at most, maybe a year, right? So they need a nice place to stay. They're not gonna stay in a hotel for 6 months. That's crazy, right? Nursing jobs in the United States they relocate all the time. So if you have access to that market, research certain cities and find out what the demand is like for those type of customer, right? That's the customer avatar. For me, my target market is people myself, 35, 55 kind of age group, entrepreneur, traveling around the world, doing business, doing real estate deals, right? But mostly, I'll say business or entrepreneurs, and that's my target market, and it's been doing well because they see value. They see nice place like this. They want to stay in a nice place. They don't want to stay in the dumpy hotel. They can stay here, and I got a rooftop pool upstairs as well, right? And it's beautiful, right? They're spending almost as much it is for a 5-star hotel. The price that I charge, yeah, I mean the price that I charge is way more than the average hotel, a 4-star hotel, right? But that's how we make money. If I target Vietnamese people here in Vietnam, they're never going to come. This is like way above their price range, like way above. Maybe in the top 5% echelon would stay in a place like this, right? So they may not see the value in that. And they have their own place too, probably pretty much. Researcher demand, and I'll give you some sample in a bit here, is that if the people come here, what are they? Because I made a mistake too. I got a property in the middle of a tourist town, but it's outside, it's far away from the airport. So people that come into the country, for example, in Saigon or Bali, for the instance, right? They're most likely going to land in an area near airport. I'll probably say within 1 hour of an airport. And my target market is usually a couple. They don't usually bring a kid. Maybe they have a friend. So maybe 2 to 3 people at most, right? So do I need a 3-bedroom? No. Is a 1-bedroom enough? Yeah, but ideally for me, it's a 2-bedroom, right? Because my guests usually come in 2 people. Either they're a couple or they're their buddies. And I'm sure buddies, as buddies are, we're not going to sleep together in the same bedroom. So 1 bedroom is not going to cut it. So I either have a sofa bed or, a 2-bedroom. So those have worked out well for me. 3-bedroom, I've tried in the past. It's a hit and miss, right? Unless you're targeting the family and it's going to be near an attraction that families go to, then that's a great thing. So yeah, research the demand in those areas.
Yeah, so Sua, so you hit a good point there with the 3-bedroom and the family thing. So for instance, if you were going to get an Airbnb near Disneyland or Disney World, then that would be a great investment. Where give you another example, in Costa Rica here, we have an Airbnb that's about 20 minutes from one of the major tourist towns in this country, called Jaco. We're about 20 minutes south of it. And what it is, and this is where picking your avatar is really important, because if you are getting an Airbnb set up in Jaco, that you're probably aiming for the families that are coming down for the weekend to the beach, because it's the closest beach to San Jose. Whereas, and it's a party town, so you're aiming your market at the partiers who are coming down for the weekends and so forth. Whereas we're 20 minutes south, we're away from the hustle and bustle. We're aiming at more for couples that want to get a quiet weekend away on the beach. So you really have, it's not just determining your target market, but where does your target market want to go?
That's right. Yeah. My clients have always been couples usually. always been the couples or two friends, and they like this quiet area. We're away from the busiest area. Like most of my penthouse suite and places with a rooftop pool is away from the center of town. You can still go there within 20 minutes drive, but that's, you know, it's still a drive, right? So that's the thing that you need to look at too. The second thing that I look at is expectation versus income potential. So what's your time is worth to you is different than what's your time worth to me, right? If I don't make $250 an hour, there's no interest for me to pursue that, right? If I make more than $250 an hour, yeah, I think I'll spend a few hours on it, right? So that's what you might have to look at. So is the expectation is going to match the reality? What is the income potential of that place, right? I can tell you, my place in Surrey that I had running when I was over here, the entire time that my property was up running in Surrey until I sold it. It was making me $4,000 a month. The rental income in that 3-bedroom rancher, old rancher, was over 50 years old, right? It's like 60 odd years old. Inside is really nice. Outside looks not so nice. But that was making me $4,000 every month. If I had a long-term lease that place, it would only made me $2,100, right? That's gross, right? So when I was Airbnb, it made me $6,000. That's nuts. That's like 3 times the amount of money that I would have made on a long-term rental. And without all the without all the wear and tear with the long-term tenants, right? Because how much wear and tear do you get when somebody brings a suitcase in and brings suitcase out? Not a lot, right? No bumps, no moving in, no moving out, right? And of course, you know, Airbnb and Agoda and all those guys and VRBO have insurance in place for damages, which, you know, if you want to know more about, I can give you information about that too. You know, they take care of our damages. I don't even care. If somebody damages some, I claim it and I get money compensated to fix it. Right? And the other thing is, if you're doing this only for part-time and you don't have a lot of time, maybe 1 or 2 units, great. But if you want to do this long-term and scale it up, solo ain't gonna cut it. Trust me. I had 2-3 units, it was okay. But once I have 6 units, and by the way, I have 4 that's coming up live soon. So that's like 10 units. There's no way I'm doing this by myself. Like by the time you have about 5 or 6 different units of different location, it gets pretty scary, right? You got different people coming in all the time, and cleaning's got to know which, where, when, you know, all that stuff, right? So you need a team, literally. Like you need a team. I'm just telling you this because I learned from my stressful days that, okay, I need somebody to help, right? And you know, sure, everybody gets paid, you know, whether it's either an equity percentage, because when you get paid for the place, you can break out the percentage that you share to your co-host as well. And that's what I have. I bring co-hosts on when I have more and more units, right? So I'll touch more on that later if you want to have. So what does the research look like? Well, there's different places you can research, all right? You can use Airbnb data, which is free. And I'll show you how on the right-hand side there on the bottom. Or there's a website called airdna.co. Airdna.co is usually major cities around the world. Bali, not so much. They don't have any data. Vietnam, they don't have any data. So US, great. No, Canada, great. It's terrific. Like the Surrey data is huge, right? And you can see what the average income is and how much occupancy rate they look at. So then you can figure how much your occupancy rate is going to be, right? In Surrey, it was like 70% occupancy. On my property, it was a little bit higher, right? But the amount of money that you can make is amazing, right? So you can research on airdna.co, you pay for it, or you can research on Airbnb, right? I have to go one-on-one and teach you how to do this. You just use a simple spreadsheet and you could just break down in how many. I'm gonna move this bar up so I can show you guys. So you can do like 30 days, 60 days, and then 90 days out, right? To see how well they're doing. You can look at the calendar actually. If you go to the link that I have on every place that you go research, right? Just pretend that you're gonna go there and book a place and have a flexible week somewhere in the future, like next month, not this month, or a month and a half later. Because if you do that, you can have you can look at their entire calendar to see how well they're being booked or not. See how many people are actually booking, and that's what I use to compare. If you're seriously interested in pursuing the business and doing the research of this, there's a guy called, oh my god, Sean Rakitic. He used to be called AirBNB Automated, and he's one of my mentors. And he teaches how to do this. It's not that hard. It's just figure like on the calendar, how many days are booked, how many days aren't booked, right? And then you do simple math. You take the amount of days that are booked, and then you multiply by the price that he's charging, right? And you get a good idea how much revenue they're making. So I look at this property, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, people in Surrey. Look at the money they're making. Within 30 days, they're making 6,000. The next 30 days, they're making 6,500. In the future months, they're making $8,800. Whoa. Surrey. It's just a regular farmhouse, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath with a fire pit. It's not a monster home. It's not a huge, nice place. It's just a regular house, right? So the opportunity really is there. But here's the thing. Don't go to, oh, I'm going to have like all this money. No, you need a fallback. You need a plan B in case something happens, right? What's your plan B? All right. My plan B was sell the property, and I listed it. And here's the coolest thing is, Airbnb people, they don't even care if your property is listed for sale. They don't care. They're staying there for only short term, right? If you have a long-term tenant, if you got a for sale sign up front, what do you think your long-term tenant is going to think? All right, no way. I'm not renting this. They're going to evict me like after it's sold next month, right? They don't want that. So that's the reason why I had it up for months, and I was not in a hurry to sell. I had so many offers like coming on the table. I don't care. And no, until one developer came and gave me a ridiculous number. Right? I said, okay, I'm vacating. Matter of fact, I gave away quite a bit of the furniture because the amount of money they gave me was a lot higher than any offer, like over $200,000 higher than the other people that offered me for the house. It's an old house, right? So that's what was my plan B. My other fallback plan was relocate it to different area, because now I know it works. I did the research, but I was like, man, I was very fortunate that Surrey is booming, busting, and growing. The vacancy is just ridiculously low, right? And that's why Surrey works really well. You don't have to go far, guys, but you have to make sure that it makes sense, right? Now, what's other fallback? Well, I had my line of credit. I had a 2-month window to say, hey, if this doesn't work for 2 months, I'll eat it. I'll learn something. See, the thing is, when you fail, you don't lose anything. You learn a really good lesson. What not to do, how to do it better, and what should I do before I do it next time, which was research, like a ton of research. And that's why I did a lot of research before I had all these places in Vietnam and in Bali, right? What's the exit strategy? My other exit strategy was either sell the business too. I could have sold the business to anybody that in my circle. They would have taken over. I was like, look, you can see my last year, how much money I made, right? I just don't have time for this anymore in that part of the world, because I'm over here on this side of the world, right? The challenge with me doing something back home, because answering text messages in the middle of the night, I'm like, if you guys want to know, right now it's 9 a.m. 9 a.m. in my time in Saigon. Okay, so you know what that's like when you're asleep, right? And I'm awake and you're asleep. So when the guests come in, they have questions, they have problems. I can't answer until I'm awake the next day, right? By then it might be too late. They might have leave you a really bad review because you're too slow to answer. Right? So building a team. What do you need to build a team? Got a pen and paper handy? Write this down. The one most important person that you need is the cleaner, right? Mr. Smiley. You need a good cleaner. And I can't tell you enough. The cleaner has to be like you. Has to be like, if you go walk around and you know on top of the TV and you see dust, every guest does this, by the way. Every guest that goes to any hotel, any place, I do that too, right? I check on top of the TV, there's dust. That means I know how careful the cleaner is or not. If the cleaner doesn't clean on top of the TV, behind the TV, under the chair, under the bed, for that matter, Trust me, there's some sick people there, right? They you know, they use the place. If you've never been in a hotel before, or you've never done cleaning, never been Airbnb, I can tell you this one: they leave disgusting stuff under the bed. That's why I hire a cleaner, because I don't like to clean out stuff like that, right? It's just like, okay, I don't get paid enough to do this, right? So I hired a cleaner. It's free up my life and free up my time to do more, right? And the second best person you need to have is, I would say, the inspector. If you're doing only 1 or 2 or 3 units at the beginning, you need the cleaner and the inspector. You are the inspector, or somebody else is an inspector. What is an inspector? The inspector is the person that checks up on the cleaner. Yeah. Hey, the cleaner sometimes forget. They leave, for example, they leave a bottle of bleach on the table somewhere, or they leave stuff, you know, a rag somewhere, and it's just, ugh. A guest comes in, see a rag on the bed, on the sofa, they just get a bad feeling, and it just makes you look really bad. So the inspector will come in after the cleaner leaves and checks to make sure everything is in order. Oh, to make sure that the towels are out there, enough towels for everybody that's coming. Set up certain thing. If you have a bed, you know, one of those crib beds, you need set up, then the inspector will come and set up for you, for instance. Or as well as check, you know, there's enough TP, toilet paper in the bathroom. Sometimes the cleaners forget to put it out, and you know, the guest comes and says, hey man, there's only one toilet piece or one roll of toilet paper for all of us. All right, it's not gonna be happy. When your business grows, you will need the co-host. A co-host is somebody, it can be the landlord even, right? Some of my properties are the whole co-host is the person that's on the title, or owns the property or lease the property, and I help set up and everything, and I help run it, I help operate it. So the co-host can handle questions, for example, simple questions. I automate a lot of answers already. I automate the whole process of checking in, checking out, everything already, like the Wi-Fi, everything I've automated already. But the co-host will answer certain things like, hey, can I come 2 hours before check-in time? And then the co-host has to answer, right? I don't want to answer that. The co-host knows how to answer because I have templates already too. I have all the templates. All the co-host has to do is copy and paste it, really. Yeah, because all the 21 questions have been answered in this long list that I have, and I give to my co-host. Right? And the other person you really need to have is a good handyman. Not someone who can build a house, but someone who can fix certain things. You know, the door locks, the toilets plug, that kind of stuff, the simple stuff, right? TV doesn't work, Wi-Fi doesn't work. If you're traveling, then you know you don't see that. Someone has a question here. As co-host similar to property manager? Well, yes and no. You are the property manager. You take care of the top level stuff, right? The bottom level is more like yeah, I guess you can say they do property management for you. Yes, right? Yeah, but the handyman does most of the hard work.
Yeah. Right? So I think actually the question can also be the way we do our Airbnbs. The co-host / inspectors is a property manager for us. So they go in before the tenant shows up. They make sure the place is clean. We leave things for our guests. Like for instance, in Costa Rica, we leave them a bowl of fresh local fruit. She makes sure everything that is supposed to be there. And so she is a property manager, but she's acting as a co-host and an inspector. And then she goes in and checks everything out after someone's left as well. And if there's questions,
you might have multiple. Yeah, you may have multiple roles. Like your handyman might be your inspector too.
Yep.
Right. So that helps.
Absolutely.
So you don't need individual people, right? But you should never have the inspector and the cleaner be the same person. I tell you why. They do not do a good job of checking on themselves.
No, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah. So you got it. Yeah. So yeah, you know, and my co-host does all that stuff. Like the instant noodle, instant coffee, they make sure there's replacement of those. If there's missing, then have to buy more. That's all. And yeah, and they check to make sure that all the extra linens and towels are in the stores and available for the cleaner to swap, you know. So these are very vital if you want to scale your business. If you're doing 1 or 2 units, 3 units, that's fine. But once you hit 5, 6 or more, I'm telling you, better get a team. All right. Things get complicated real fast, and you won't have time for that. What other things that helped me a lot is I have keyless entry. right? All of my places have keyless entry. They don't need a key. You know how many times people lose keys, right? So all my locks have PIN numbers. They can and it opens. And when they leave, I can wipe those numbers clean, and give them new one. What we usually use at practice is they're using the last 4 digits of their phone number. So whenever they come, we just message, it's the last 4 digits of your phone number. I mean, you can't forget that, right? So the Wi-Fi locks have been really useful. Schlag, Yale locks, those are the 2 that I like, that I prefer, because they link with Airbnb and most of the other OTAs, they call them, they give out the key. Right? It's automated, meaning that the minute that it's approved, the booking is approved and they paid for, it automates the number they sent out, right? But you can override those numbers and change it, right? Me personally, in Asia, I don't like automation because they don't figure out. I have to message them, right? So my co-host does that, message the number to them. Just the same replies. Hey, it's the last 4 digits of your phone number. Right? And I can get, every time I get a booking, I can go in it. It takes me like 2 seconds to set the number. And I manually set it because I like control. I'm a control freak sometimes, right? That way. So it only takes me 2 seconds. It's no big deal. It's between whatever I was doing anyway. And if it's every time I say booking, I schedule that for that date to be active. So it'll be active on that date only for that amount of time. Okay. If they come in an hour early, too bad. Right? It's already automated that the check-in time is 3 p.m. for example. Right? And it kills it kills the code. It turns it off. It disables it afterwards at checkout time. So a question?
That's just me.
Oh yeah, Minute is awesome. I love Minute. Yeah, Minute noise monitoring is what we use as well. Same with the Nest for the thermostat. It's all linked, so I can see it at any given time at night. 11 o'clock at night, I can tell my co-host to check the Minute noise monitor for each unit to see if people have if above the noise level or not. And people in Asia is more respectful. I don't know, but when in Canada, not so much, right? But you know what? If you leave a warning in there that if the neighbors calls the police on you to calm down the noise in the neighborhood, your booking is automatically canceled. If you have that verbiage in there, they tend to play nice. Right? They turn down the noise after 11 p.m. I have that set in mind in Surrey before, and same with in Florida, right? So there is 2 types of pricing on there. Oh, the ring cam is nice to have too, but I don't have the ring cam on mine because I really don't need it. It's we got so much security here on these high rises. people don't cause problem when they come here. They don't come in big giant groups, right? It just doesn't happen. The security guys would turn them away. If there's a group of 16 to 20 people coming, yeah, no, they're not coming in. Right? They have to get past the security first.
Yeah, with Airbnb, you really got to watch it too, because you can't have any cameras that can monitor the activities of the renter.
You cannot have any. Actually, no, you can't even have the noise monitor. But like the Minute noise monitor, you can't even have the noise monitor now. By the way, Mark, inside the living room where the sofa bed is. No, well, if they're sleeping somewhere, you can't have it in there anymore. So thank God, most of my noise monitor.
Yeah, our noise monitor's in the living room. There's no sofa bed in there, so that's fine.
Yeah.
We also
my noise monitor is in the kitchen. So
but we do have a ring outdoor, a solar powered ring camera outside monitoring the stairwell entry to the property, so that and we tell them it's for their protection. So if they go out and something happens, we have a record of who came in and out of the unit, so we can follow up if there's been a problem. Yeah,
it's perfect. My place back in Surrey had 4 camera outdoors pointing in 4 directions: the front, the back, the side. So anybody coming in and out, they have live feed. So we know prevents a lot of partying from happening. Dynamic versus beyond pricing. So dynamic pricing is what Airbnb gives you. They think that they call it smart pricing, they call it, and we think it's called dumb pricing. I think anyway, because the pricing is whacked. It's out of, they don't do justice, because if you're like a high value type of Airbnb host like myself, we like, if you've ever been to my Airbnb place in Surrey, think about this. It's got a 75-inch Samsung monitor in the living room, and it's got a leather sofa, like giant leather sofa. It's meant for a king. So these are like high-end stuff. The glass table is for 6 people, and it's heavy glass. It takes like 4 people to lift the damn thing, right? Excuse my language. So we're adults, so hopefully everybody knows this. It's who you catering to, right? The pricing won't match because they're comparing apples to oranges now. It doesn't make sense, right? The only ones that came close to was Beyond Pricing, and you pay that. It's a very small percentage. If you're in North America, I strongly advise turning off dynamic pricing on Airbnb. That's what defaulted to. Turn it off and go into Beyond Pricing and link it with beyondpricing.com. They automate the pricing for you. They know way ahead when the holiday season's coming to increase the price. Same with weekend pricing, all that stuff. My pricing fluctuates just as badly as a hotel does, all right? And takes advantage of that. When the season's low, it'll reflect the lower price. And that way you don't have empty,
And they also Beyond Pricing is just one of the options. We use a different one, which I can't remember the name of off the top of my head, but they're really good because what they do is they keep track of your neighbors and stuff like that too. And they know that, midweek and nobody's getting any bookings, the smart ones will go and drop the price of your unit to try and get you a booking. Whereas all your neighbors, of course, who aren't using these types of systems, they're flat rating. And so we pick up lots of extra
all day.
Yeah, we pick up lots of extra bookings because our pricing is constantly changing using one of these services.
Same. My place of service is fully booked all the time. And people going, how the hell did that happen? You're in the middle of nowhere, like not even near Service Center or Gifford Mall. Right. So it's like, well, you either be a very smart person or find somebody who's smarter than you to do the job. And we did, right? Beyond Pricing is one of them. There's other, you're right. There's other pricing places too, like Price Lab, I think it was, right?
Yeah, we use Price Labs.
That's the one, yeah. So what else do you need? Well, the cleaner. If you don't have a good cleaner, I usually, here's the thing. You know how you can find a good cleaner? Ask your mom. Right? They probably know some very good cleaner, right? They probably know someone who's as nitpicky, as touchy as they are. And sure, give them a job, right? They clean their house really well. Hey, auntie, would you want to help clean my place once in a while? I'll give you $250 per cleaning. $250, yeah. I pay my cleaners very well in Surrey. It takes them 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. I pay them $250, sometimes $300, right, to clean. If they clean in 2 hours, they still get $300. They clean in 3 hours, they get $300. It's like $100 an hour. Who pays that? Right? I do. They make sure it's clean. Like every corner, I go and visit, my inspector goes and check. Yeah, there's no dust on the TV. There's like nothing. No dust on the windowsill. She's good, right? That's what I want to see. So if you don't have one, you can try turnoverbnb.com. Turnoverbnb.com is a place where a lot of people come and apply to do the cleaning works and stuff. And they get reviews on those people, right? So you can try them out. Some work, some won't, and whatever works, right? But I found that it's hit and miss too as well, until I found my person, right? So if you have someone inside anywhere around Burnaby's, New West, Surrey, Langley, I can get somebody to help, or Coquitlam for that matter, right? She's an awesome cleaner. And I was really sad that I was unable to turn and to find another place quickly and use all the stuff that I bought through there. The cool thing that I have automated is that my cleaner is on a Google Calendar I gave. So I created another Google account for my cleaners, right? And I linked my Airbnb properties to that calendar. She knows when she needs to clean. It's automated. It's guest checks in, guest checks out. Oh, perfect. She comes to that place. It's all color coordinated with the different types of property that I have, right? And it's cool. It's free use. Maybe I don't know. It's free for you, but I got G Suite. It's a business one. So Google gives unlimited calendars to use. I share the one calendar to my cleaner. She knows which day to go and which unit, right? That means I don't have to call every single time that I need to get it clean, right? And if the guest comes in, sometimes I need to message her that this place needs, my co-host does it anyway, that needs to be brought up to the room because we don't have the key for that place, right? Or we don't have the locker for that for them to come to pick up the card. So what platforms do you use? I use a lot of platforms, all right? And it depends on where you're in the world. Agoda, Booking, Expedia, HomeAway, Hotels.com, Travelocity, TripAdvisor, VRBO, and a few other one in Asia, which is like weird names, right? You guys were never familiar with too until I came like Traveloka. The heck is Traveloka, right? It's for Indonesia, and so the one in Bali I put on there. Furnished rentals as well. Furnished rentals, like furnishedrental.com. I believe that's what it's at. These are more for long term. Traveling nurses in the US, they have a website for that as well. And it's more for long term, like 3-6 months kind of thing. You might get random booking from them, but it doesn't hurt, right? To link your calendar to all these websites that offer longer term rentals. Because hey, I have long-term rentals here in all these units. Some stay for a month, some stay for 6 weeks, some stay for 3 weeks, right? Or some stay for longer, 2 months, right? But that's cool. And then there's a unique offer called Peer Space. And I did this for Surrey. This is, by the way, for Surrey. There's a Peer Space. So these people only book for certain things. Come to take photos, come for have some kind of meeting, workshop, any kind of thing. So my little old rancher had 12 people coming on this date. Guess how long they stayed? From 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. For 8 hours, they paid me $442. Think about that. For 8 hours, they paid me $442 to use my old 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom rancher. My rent there was $2,100 a month. Right? So a little bit of this, a little bit of that, everything adds up, right? So that way you can make a ton more money using what you have right now. Yeah, there you go. This and Debbie and Brandon Belfort. My son uses Peerspace to book 2 hours to do videos for social influence. Yeah, if you need a nice penthouse place in Saigon, you can book my place for a few hours, right? Rather than going to one of those fancy places charging like an arm and leg, right?
Okay, so
costs like $100 here.
One of the things people have to pay attention to with longer term rentals, though, is depending on where you are, sometimes tenant rights kick in after a certain amount of time.
Yep.
And sometimes
Yep.
taxation changes after certain bookings. So like, for instance, in Costa Rica, the max rental someone can do with us is 28 days. And if they want to rent longer than 28 days, they basically have to do a second booking. And that actually cuts down on our tax liability, and also they don't have tenant right. They don't have tenant rights. So
So be careful. Be careful with it.
Yeah,
be careful with the US, especially in USA.
Yeah.
Don't book them longer than 28 days. If they want to book longer than 28 days, do renewable every 28 days. All right. So yeah, those are the little things that you need to learn. Like you need to learn a lot of these things. Luckily, fortunately, in Asia, none of that stuff exists. Thank God. All right. And they leave. Right. So what do I use to help in communicating? Well, WhatsApp is great. And it's also web-based. So if I don't have a cell phone, my WhatsApp is on the internet as well. I can chat and text anybody on the internet, right, using WhatsApp. Yeah, great guys. For those people who are like security freaks and like, oh, I don't want to use WhatsApp because they're listening to my stuff and Facebook owns it. Who cares? You're not that important. Trust me. All right. Between Mark and I think we have more to disclose, more security to worry about more security than the average people in North America. And yet we're okay. We use WhatsApp.
In certain countries too, especially when you get into Central America, WhatsApp is the only way anyone's going to communicate with you. Whether it's the store down the street who's making delivering your furniture, or your property manager, or the guy coming to install your internet, they are all on WhatsApp, and that's how they all communicate. Right. So you get used to it pretty quick. Yep.
In Vietnam, it's all Zalo. There's like, you don't use WhatsApp? I have to add another chat app program for crying out loud. Right. And I think in the Philippines, a lot of them use Viber. So everywhere I go, I'm looking at opportunities to add. So in the future, I have Philippines as a nice place to stay, looking for a couple of penthouses right now. Same with Thailand and all that, right? So use whatever's available in that country. It helps you automate things, right? Yeah, WhatsApp is in Mexico City. Yeah, WhatsApp is more commonly used, I find out. And if I tell them, hey, can you switch to WhatsApp? My co-host would right away switch to WhatsApp, right? Because I'm more on there than anything else, right? The Schlag encode is like, it looks similar to these. I think that's what they're Yale or no Schlag. Yeah, Schlag is this one I've been using. They're great. It connects with your Wi-Fi and you can change them anytime you want. Right? If they party and you learn that they party, heck, you can shut them down. You can shut them down as well. Right? And G Suite calendars, if you have a business already, just get the G Suite and you have unlimited calendars to use. I don't know if the free one will allow unlimited calendars. So that's another thing you have to look at. Right? Currency. So what's the cost to start and about the currency? If you guys using any kind of currency exchange all the time, get wise.com. I'll send you a link if you want. If save you some money. If you don't have online currency exchange or your favorite Vancouver currency place, get wise.com. Everything I transfer, I found that's the best place for me to get my currency exchange at the cheapest rate possible. Who's got some questions here? WhatsApp's linked to one phone number.
I'm on the questions, so you just keep on going, my friend.
Okay. So just stop me because that's from the previous one. WhatsApp is linked to one phone number. Yes, but you can have it on multiple devices, like I have right now. You can use that QR code to scan onto your laptop, to scan onto your tablet. So you have 3 devices using the same WhatsApp number. You get ping, 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 all 3 your notifications at the same time, though. So it can be annoying. You can have to turn it off. So what is the cost to start in Vietnam? Well, the currency here is like $10 million. Vietnamese dong is 550 Canadian. The penthouse suite that I have right now, it cost me, I think, shy of 14 million and a half. So say 15. So that's about 750, 800 bucks. This penthouse suite, 2-bedroom penthouse suite on the 33rd floor, cost me less than $800 a month. Right? So think about that. 2 months rent plus deposit. So roughly at the bottom, store cost, I'll show you in a minute. And there are 3 types of buildings here: unfurnished, semi-furnished, and furnished. The lesson here is if you're in Asia, do not get unfurnished. Yes, and unfurnished means you have to buy everything, including the stove, the fridge, stove, air conditioning unit. You do not want to do this. Okay, I learned my lesson on the first time around. Before COVID, it went really well. I made money. I made money back. But you got to buy all these bloody things. Like air conditioning unit is not. It doesn't come with these strata places. I don't know. In Canada, we everything like it comes with it. Right? It comes with the kitchen. It comes with a stove, right? Even the fridge, right? So people buy these property in Canada. We're so used to having almost everything. Here, it doesn't come with that. Matter of fact, you might not even get the kitchen sink. You might have to put the kitchen sink in yourself. It really is bare bone when it's unfurnished, right? Really bad. Semi-furnished it comes with the AC, it comes with the kitchen sink, and sometimes you might get the bed frame, not the mattress. Yeah, not the mattress, the bed frame and the stove, right? Fridge, sometimes not, right? So I'd rather go with furnished because it comes with everything. Yeah, there's some stuff that I don't like when it's furnished. So there's pros and cons about all of this, right? Semi-furnished is probably more ideal. At least they have the basic stuff. Because come on, once the lease is over in a year, 2 years, 3 years, because I keep renewing, right? What's the odd likely chance of you ripping off the air conditioning unit to sell? What is it worth? Probably not a heck of a lot, right? Same thing with the stove. Like you didn't rip out the stove to sell it or the fridge. It's like it probably wouldn't be worth much by then either, right? So that's the downfall of having to furnish stuff you own. It's not really great, right? Ideally, you have not the bed frame itself. Ideally, you have the fridge, the stove, the air conditioning unit. There are other stuff you can buy, like the table, the sofa bed. Yeah, because most of the places don't have sofa bed. They only have cheap sofa and cheap table, and it's just like not the type. It's not going to attract the client, right? Your customer avatar is not going to like it. It's like, this is cheesy, right? So that's the downfall. A whole bunch of questions. Who's got questions here? Oh, you're answering it. Okay, Mark, thanks.
You just keep doing your job there. So I got the background going here.
All right, thank you. So yeah, if you have some questions, you can always ask me too, right? So furnishing is on the budget of obviously a studio, one bedroom. Most popular here in parts of Saigon is either the one bedroom studio. It's actually a studio, but they call it one bedroom. It's just a partition with a bed, right? And and if you might have lucky, you might have a view, and that's what we look after. One bedroom is less to come by. There's more studio and two bedroom than it is a separate one bedroom, right? They don't understand sometimes when it's I want a one bedroom, like a separate bedroom with the door, right? When they advertise one bedroom, it's actually a studio, right? So the language is very different here, so you have to understand that. So now I have to say I need a lock and door, one bedroom. Then I can have a sofa bed. So literally that's two beds, right? So I kind of cheat out that way, especially when it's closer to the city center. It's very expensive rent. Yeah, I know everything's relative, but it's expensive compared to other units here, right? Away from city center, I can get 12 million instead of spending 15 million, so 3 million less per month. Right? That that's like 3 days worth of gas I gotta fork out, right? So and every little bit helps, right? And I don't need a two bedroom because a two bedroom really has 2 to 3 beds. So that's a different client. That's a different target market. I don't cater to that, not yet anyway, right? So my target market's perfect for one separate bedroom and a sofa bed, up to 4 people, right? Yeah, sometimes a roll-up mat, you can have up to 5, but you better have 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom by that. I mean, 2 bathroom, not 2 bedroom. So you have a 1 bedroom with 2 bathrooms. That's very rare. It doesn't happen, right? Very rare, extreme rare. Unlike back in Canada, we might have that, right? So it costs about 50 million Vietnamese dollar to fully furnish. If it's half furnished, it costs 25 million. I would rather do that rather than fully furnished. It costs too much, and the end result, the exit strategy sucks. Exit strategy is you got time to vacate. You don't have like 30 days, 60 days to vacate. If you do, you lose out the 30 day, right? You lose out the guests. You have to sell that stuff. It takes a while to sell used goods. Canada, here they sell faster. Used goods, by the way, used goods in Vietnam, they sell faster. And you can laugh about this all you want. They sell used mattress here too. So I wouldn't advise buying used mattress anywhere for your guests. Okay, they're not gonna appreciate it. Spend money on the mattress. And if you have a place that is fully furnished, make sure you're the first person to rent the place. If you're the next person to rent it, find a protective covering, like zip up the whole entire mattress. Because I don't know if there's bed bugs or not, you don't want that to happen, right? Kill it with bed bug spray before you take it over. Get one of those exterminated in. So what is the cost in Canadian fund? It costs about $4,500 to $6,000 for startup costs, maybe $1,000 to $1,200 for a slush fund, right? Then you are set. It would take roughly 3 to 4 months to break even, to get your money, to recoup your money. So say 4 months. It'll take 4 months to recoup your money in Vietnam here. So the next 8 months, you're laughing, right? That's what we're doing. And it's been working well. So what is unfurnished and furnished looks like? Here is the breakdown, really. At the end of the day is it costs $15 million per month to lease unfurnished. It may cost up to 20 million per month to lease now because COVID is over. Price is getting racked up. They're jacking up the price like as we speak. The place that I rented out a year ago here for like this penthouse here is right now is over $20 million per month. I rented for 15, which is like before COVID, right? Which is kind of cool, right? So I got COVID pricing before COVID was over. So these numbers are a little bit dated, but you get the general idea. It's not as much. It doesn't cost as much. Like $30 million is $1,650. $40 million is about $2,200. So 20 million is $1,100. So $1,100. You get a nice 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom with two bathroom here, 2 bathroom, right? Nice balcony with a deck. I can show you the link later. and you can have a look. It's amazing. It's just incredible. Every bedroom has an air conditioning unit, so it's one of those outside air conditioning. It's a 2-piece air conditioning unit. It's very nice. Right? So here's the thing. One is the biggest lesson I've learned, and you guys need to learn this. Okay, learn it from me. Don't make this mistake. The biggest mistake that everybody else does on Airbnb, even to today, is they will take photos themselves on their camera. They do not pay for professional photography. My brother is a professional photographer, but I pay money to get an Airbnb professional photographer to come to take the photos inside my place, right? It makes a huge difference, right? For one, I think Airbnb gives some incentives. I don't know. It's behind the scene. They control it. So you can go into Airbnb and say, I request a photographer, and they will send out a professional photographer for you, and they take the photos and they upload it for you and everything, right? So they may get a boost of SEO ranking from that alone. But all I know is that when people look for places, and if you take the photo, you take it the way that we used to take, just that take, right? Professional photographers don't do that. They take photos from a different angle and from a different height, right? Almost like if they're not sitting, but half sitting, half standing, right? I see them do it. So it's like, well, that's kind of cool. But when the photos come out, it looks so much nicer, right? You don't have to edit nothing. None of those photos are edited, and it looks really good. So if you do it your way to save money, well, your profit will tank as well. Because I can tell you, if I'll show you 2 examples if you want to see in this same building, okay? And the other person has a higher level unit than me. There's like 36th floor here, right? 35th floor. So the other person have a higher floor than me. Her photos suck. Her price are half my price, and my booking is full, and hers isn't. Go figure, right? A picture does say 1,000 words, guys. All right. So get a professional photographer, whatever the price, $250, $350, $500. It's worth it. It is worth it. Right.
And you got to remember the 2 most important things on a Facebook listing. A is the title of your listing, and B is the first picture. If you haven't caught somebody with your title and your first picture, then you probably have missed a booking.
Yep. Change it.
and also with Airbnb, for instance, the Airbnb listing we have for one unit we have here in Costa Rica right now is my wife literally goes in there and tweaks the ad every single day. Just something minor. It's just a description of a photo, adding a photo, taking a photo off, just doing something to tweak the ad every single day. And if you go looking for a specific type of unit in the area that we're in, we're usually the first. We're not even a super host yet we're usually the first listing that comes up.
Yes, so. because the SEO engine is AI, artificial intelligence. They want to see what's attractive in your place. It might not be the bedroom. It might be the bloody view from the living room, right?
Yeah.
That was my photo. My photo was in the living room. The photo outside of my house looks like, no, I don't want to go there, right? So my photo was from the sofa bed, from the sofa, behind the sofa, taking the photo of behind the sofa, with the palm tree lighting and looking at that big giant TV. What's so special about that? I don't know. It just looks good, right? It grabs people's attention, and they click, they book, right? I was flabbergasted. I was like, holy crap! I made $6,000, like $6,000 from a place that only made me rent for $2,100, and my long-term tenants always give me grief, right? And after they
where did Sua go? We lost you there, buddy. You can see your mouse moving.
Sure. Right? Create jobs for people around you. Why not? Right? Extra spending money. Your aunt, your whatever, your babysitter. That's not babysitting anymore. Right? But if this is too much, right? Find somebody, find a mentor, right? Or just connect with me, right? So learn from somebody who's done it. Don't learn from the guru who's want to leave, right? The guru has already left the building. right? They don't want to do anymore. They just want to make money off their knowledge. Yes, but they're no longer up to date anymore in the field, right? Find someone who's in the field, hook up your bandwagon with them even, right? Hey, maybe say, hey, Sue, you know what? I'll give you the 20% as co-host. Help me do this, set this up. I'll do that, right? So then when you're out and going in a year from now, you're on your own, right? Pay me 20% consulting fee for the first year, and the rest you're laughing, right? I can show you what you're doing wrong by looking at everything inside of what you have. And you can copy and paste my templates, right? So that's the other thing. I've learned from all these people, spent thousands and thousands. I'm sure Mark did the same thing, right? So what are the lessons I've learned is this. Don't be reactive, be proactive, right? Look at what you have. If it's not going to work, don't do it, right? That's a reactive thing, right? Do something that nobody else wants to do. Be different to stand out in your area, right? For Suri, for example, I look at all my competitors, right? I look at all their places, like, yeah, their place is so much nicer than mine. But then I say, what can I do different in mine? Okay, yeah, so don't say, I have a sofa ready, I have a table ready, yeah, it's gonna do. I'm just gonna Airbnb this, what I have. Don't do that. You might as well not do that. I'm just telling you. Go to IKEA for crying out loud. Get rid of the old table, get rid of the old chair. Get something that looks like it's set up for staging, like home staging. If you have a home staging friend, or hire one. Say, hey, I need to replace this so that it looks really good, like a home staging. Right? Declutter the place. Right? Position so that it's meant for people to come here to say, hey, I love this place. It's beautiful. Right? I want to stay here. Right? That's it. If they're going to stay there, they can have to have you have to have a unique value proposition. What is your unique selling proposition? My unique selling proposition is like a big TV with Netflix, right? Netflix premium. Watch 4K on my 4K video and lounge in this massive sofa bed, right? That's beautiful. The rest of the room and the rest of the place is like just like an old house, right? There's nothing special. It wasn't even fully renovated. It was just a living room that was renovated, right? The kitchen was half renovated. So I didn't have a lot to offer, but it still made $6,000. So think about that, right? So you can make money. Just don't be like the other guy, right? So do something, guys. Just don't sit there and say, yeah, I'll get to it. Oh, I'm going to try. Just do it. Don't bother about trying. Just imperfect action, my coach always said, is better than perfect inaction. You can sit there and watch people change their zoning, their bylaws, and then you're too late. Surrey doesn't have an Airbnb bylaw right now. I don't know how long that will last, right? So if you're there, that's great. If not, you know what? Find somewhere else, right? I went to Asia. You want to hear more about that? One-on-one, just find me. Just schedule a call. Here's my calendar links. And here's my WhatsApp number. You can actually call me here anywhere around the world on this phone number. Actually, I have a global phone number, so you can ring me on that local number. No long distance for you. If you don't like to use WhatsApp, right?
Just remember he's halfway around the world, so plan your time accordingly.
Yes. So if you're calling, what time? Like right now, it is almost 10 o'clock, right? Here for me. What time is that for you?
7:42 in Vancouver. So if they call you from basically be 6 p.m. and later.
There you go. Yeah. I'll be up to midnight. But you can figure it out. It's either early morning or late night for you. That's the best time to call me.
So a couple things you do cover off that are really, really important. And Andrew mentioned it. The biggest comment he made was be your guest. We were just I was just in Mexico for a week and then back in Vancouver for a couple of weeks, then back in Mexico for another week. And I stayed at 4 different Airbnbs in that time. 5 different Airbnbs in that time. And it was amazing to me, especially the couple of Airbnbs we stayed at in Coquitlam. how poorly stocked they were. One place we stayed at was actually one of the most expensive places we stayed at. The bed didn't come with a top sheet. There wasn't a can opener.
You're kidding me.
No, there wasn't a can opener in the kitchen. It was all these little things about the place that was driving us crazy, because it was like these people never actually stayed in their own unit to see what was missing. There wasn't an ice cube tray in the freezer. They advertised it up to 3 people, so there was kind of a sofa bed thing in the living room, but they didn't provide any sheets for that. So here we are, we're arriving late one afternoon, evening, and we're setting up, and we want to go to bed, and we realize, well, there's no top sheet on the bed. There's just this kind of scungy looking comforter, and I'm not going to slide between, I'm not going to slide under that comforter without a top sheet. And then we realized that my daughter had no sheets for where she was sleeping. And then the guy tried to argue with us that the unit's only for 2 people. Then we pulled up his own AirBNB ad, and it clearly says 3 people.
That's right.
So, I mean, the best thing you can ever do is set your unit up and then stay in it for several days. And if at any point in time when you're staying in it and you wish, oh, I wish I had this, well, that's your responsibility to put it in there. So go get it. So I'm doing exactly that right now. We're setting up a new Airbnb in a place called Acamal, Mexico, which is just north of Tulum. And I'm heading back in September for 10 days, and I'm going to stay in our own unit. And you better believe that if I at any time realize that I'm missing something in that unit, I'm whipping out to the store and I'm going to get it, because I don't want someone who's staying in my place to suddenly need something and I don't have it. Because if you can think ahead of the game and kind of figure out everything that people who stay in your place are going to need, and it's there, so that when they suddenly realize that they need something and then it's there, you're always going to get a 5-star review. They're going to go, man, this place is so well outfitted. Everything I needed was there. We do things like the bedside table lamps have USB chargers in them, and the drawer underneath that actually has 3 different types of USB cable just sitting in there. So if they forgot theirs at home, A, they have a charger, and B, they have a cable. I mean, how many Airbnbs do that, right? We use Roku streaming devices on our smart TVs, because there's 100 and some odd free channels on a Roku device that we don't have to pay anything for, and they can usually find something they want to watch. And they also have the ability to log into their Netflix account and their Disney account if they've got one, because that's on there too. So, it's all these little things, and the way you figure it out is by going and staying in your own Airbnb for it only has to be 3 or 4 days, but you're going to figure out really quickly what's missing. So
and you know what, that's a secret hack that a lot of Airbnb hosts like myself have done. Here's what we did. So when we lease a property, we usually get a few days early to set up. We make a deal with the landlord, all right? And the landlord likes it. And what's cool is when we're setting up here, we get to live here for the last few days before we make it live. So we set it up and we live here and say, oh, if we're missing anything, that's exactly what Mark says. We go out and buy it. Every one of my Airbnb play has all of that what Mark says. And because I'm a traveling guy myself, I actually have every place we've been to, we have a power converter, because every place I go to is like, what if the European guy comes here? He's going to look at the outlet, he's going to, what the hell? Right? He can't use his stuff. And vice versa. So we have all these things that have multiple connectors on them, and we put them against the wall, and it doesn't cost very much when you buy it in Asia anyway, or North America for that matter.
Yeah, Walmart's good for that.
Yeah, anywhere, Steve.
I was going to throw out a few things that are just basic. A proper corkscrew, a sharp knife, pots with lids that fit them, storage containers that have lids, just basics. Basic stuff. I mean, I've had
don't buy those cheap knives on Liquidation World. I'm telling you guys.
No, you know what's going to piss somebody off is going into your place and not having a single sharp knife in there to cut something with. So we bought a good knife with
a knife block, right?
Yeah, we bought a knife block with good knives and a sharpener, right?
Yeah. Those are awesome. Yeah. And they're good for staging.
And any of that stuff. Glasses, Get rid of chip plates, you know, have spare stuff in a lock-off closet.
Yes.
Because people break stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we, you know, there's a lot of things that people need to learn when they start Airbnb. There's lots of stuff, guys, like linens and towels. Don't buy all white. As hotels are great, you're not a hotel. Don't buy white. All right, people will use lipstick and all of that stuff. Same thing with what these guys here already mentioned, right? Even the glass and stuff, plates and bowls and stuff. Buy melamine. That you can drop that on the ground and just bounce. All right, melamine looks beautiful, looks great, and I love that in Asia. It's a big time of melamine bowls and cups and stuff, right? However, yeah, you have to replace anything that's broken and cracked. And one of the things that I put in my top things inside my rules, my house rule list is that if anything's broken, let us know, because if you don't let us know, we can't claim insurance, and the Airbnb will pay for that. And as well, because we know accidents happen. I say that accidents happen. We don't think you do it on purpose. And if you don't tell us that you broke it, imagine you're the next person that comes and don't have those wine glasses. Because I wasn't, the host was not notified it was broken, right? How would you feel? And that's one of my house rules. Just let us know. You know, we won't give you grief.
Yeah.
And most of my guests have been very, very good and kind with that. Hey, we broke this. You know, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
As long as they tell me, I don't charge them anything.
But also tell them if they find something is not working, let me know right away, and I'll get somebody on.
Oh
it.
yeah, day one. Yeah, day one.
I know, but it's funny.
It's
funny how some guests, they won't tell you, and then they'll put it in the reviews. And we've been Superhost now for 9 months in a row, because you've got to be proactive and be that guest, and make sure that they get a sense that you care.
If you guys want to look at here's my listing here. If you guys want to check the wish list there, just go there and check and look at the property that's laid out and look how beautiful it is, right? That's what it should look like, close to that, right?
Hey, another thing.
Not all are great.
Yeah. Another thing you always want to have in the unit, especially if you're in countries where maybe power fluctuates, like Costa Rica is really bad for short-term power outages and that kind of stuff. Rechargeable flashlights plugged into wall sockets in obvious places. And have your internet connection on a small UPS, so that even if the power goes out, their internet will stay up for, usually on time, so it stays up for at least an hour. And you will be surprised, because most of our outages are 5, 10, 15 minutes. So if you can at least keep their internet up for them, that they can still keep working on it, especially if they're there working and they want to keep working on their laptop or whatever it is. The last thing you want is the internet to go down and they're sitting there in the dark with no internet and can't do anything. So it's just these little things. What is your avatar? If your avatar is people who want to go on vacation and be able to work remotely, and you're in an area that they have power outages periodically and stuff like that, make sure they're not going offline just because the power went out.
Can you?
That's a great idea too.
That, Mark, you said the internet is on a UPS.
Yeah, an uninterruptible power supply. You can get them at Costco
you can plug them into.
You plug it into the wall, it stays charged. And if you have a big enough one, things like the internet router, they don't take much power. And a UPS can keep an internet router up for at least an hour or more, depending on its size. So your internet because your internet is not, the only thing that requires power is the actual router or the modem itself, because the connection to it is cable or fiber. That quite often is still up and working, even if the power goes out. So as long as you can keep that modem powered, that Wi-Fi router powered, then the internet will stay up.
Yeah, that's why we're gonna have at the Bali resort that we're building and be finished in March. Our avatar is entrepreneur, digital nomads. We have backup diesel power supply, and as well as a solar power generator that's fully can charge during the day. So it should last hours and hours.
Yeah, and the house we're building, which we'll end up renting out for short-term rental when we're not in the country, will have solar, battery backup, and generator backup, because that's what goes out here in Costa Rica. And it will also have water tanks on site as well. So when the water's off for a few hours, you're not going to run out of water. So another thing too is that we just did this in Mexico. The water in Mexico sucks. You don't want to drink the tap water. It's just, especially down the Mayan Riviera. So I went out and bought a Mabe inline 5-stage filter system, put it under the sink, and I connected my fridge to it. So if you get water from the fridge, it's cold and clean, and it also makes clean ice. So now they've always got good drinking water there. I don't have to go out and buy water bottles. They don't have to go out and buy water bottles. And they know the water is, 5-stage filtration system. It's good as it gets.
Yeah. Cool. So anybody else have any question, anything else? I know that I didn't cover enough, everybody. If you're coming here to ask for how do I talk to the landlord, well, it really has to be more like on one-on-one coaching, because that's a different angle to go to pitch to your landlord. And you really need to practice that before you go out there. Yeah, I mean, a presentation is not enough to show you how to talk to a landlord, right?
No.
You really have to practice a lot of times. And honestly, you have to do role playing and to get feedback about how am I saying it? Am I asking the right question? Am I starting the conversation correctly? Or first of all, have you done enough research, right? So there's a lot of things that are very different. See, the landlord in Saigon is a lot of business landlords. They don't even care. They just say, lease it, you insured it. If it's anything broken, you pay for it, that's fine. All right. Bali is like, do whatever. Right. In Vancouver, no. In Vancouver, it's different. In USA, it's even harder. But it's, you get thousands more no's over there than in Asia. I guarantee that much. All right. Here, I'll probably have a 50-50 chance of getting the landlord on right away. Whereas in North America, you probably have like a 10-to-1. Again, you have a 10% chance of a landlord would actually listen to you. All right. But some will. That's all you need. And once they're on board, they might have other properties they'll give to you afterwards, right? But the thing about Airbnb is this: everybody hates Airbnb, but you cannot hide from saying you won't list it on Airbnb either, right? Right. So I start off with find out what is the landlord. Why is the landlord renting? What is the pain point basically? So if you boil down to is find out what is pissing the landlord off. That's the first thing you need to do, right? And how you solve that problem for them. What is the fear that they have about Airbnb, about short-term rentals? All right. How do you overcome that? All right. That's the secret, right? That I've been able to overcome. And it's not really that hard. It really isn't, right? You find out what an Airbnb can offer, find out what the Airbnb, find out why the landlord's against Airbnb. Most of the time, it's just they don't understand. That's all.
And you should take the word Airbnb out of your vocabulary. It's SRT.
Yeah.
But it's
I use everything. Expedia, Agoda.
If you just say short-term rental, that's all you say, and you keep referring to it. Then you don't have the people who have something against VRBO or Airbnb or Booking.com. If they have biases against some of these companies for whatever reason, they don't like the owner, or they just have a bad experience or whatever. If you just say if you just always refer to it as a short-term rental, which is what it is, you can usually get around some of that negativity.
So Ruben's asked, do you share revenue with the landlord? Not if I can't help it. So what do I share with the landlord?
No.
Right? So here's what I share with the landlord. I share with the landlord that if anything gets damaged, I replace it brand new. Brand new. Because hey, how long you have this fridge? 3 years? Well, you get a brand new one, not a 2021 fridge. You get a 2023, 24 fridge.
And also too, right? How many? If you have a long-term rental, how often does the house get cleaned? Whereas if you have a short-term rental, the house is getting cleaned and inspected after every single rental. Their house will be in better shape when they get it back than if they do a long-term rental. Yeah.
And you have to walk through with them how you do your business. And that's what I do. I show them how I do my business. I show them exactly what it looks like. Here's my calendar. Here's what it looks like. Here, see my cleaner? Say, look at it. Holy crap. How many times you clean the place a month? Multiple times sometimes. Sometimes once, sometimes twice. Minimum twice. If somebody stays here 30 days, I get my cleaners in there and give them a free cleaning middle of the month.
Yeah, we do once a week regardless.
Yeah, even that's better. But why do I do that? Because I want my eyes in the place to see if anything funny went wrong, or anything's broken, or if, what kind of What kind of guests were they, right? So it tells, like, the dirt leaves the tracks. I mean, the stuff that they leave around, they have a good idea. And whenever my cleaner comes in, the guests are not there. I tell them to leave. And my cleaners have a video of everything, of what's happening, what it looks like before she starts cleaning. So I see what's happening, or how they've taken care of the property or not, right? So that gives me a good indication whether this property is good for the next 2 weeks, or I should evict them now, cancel their stay, right? That's my eyes on the ground. I don't need to be there. I'm in Bali, so I won't be able to facilitate my 6 properties here, right? What is, oh, don't you have to pay them rent? Yeah, I got to pay the landlord rent, of course, right? Here's some cool stuff that I've negotiated, right? There's a lot of things that I took. I'm an opportunist, right? And you know, when the landlord, the landlord's in a long, faraway city in Vietnam. It's like she's in the north of Vietnam. I'm in the south. She's like, I don't want to come back and see you guys every month. I don't want to come back visit. So, oh, that's great. I said, so how often do you come here? She goes, I don't want to come down there. You know, it's like, so every time you have to come down here, you got to write. If I leave this and you have to lease it again, she's gonna have to come down and sign the contract and everything, right? So I told her, it's like, I tell you what, how about sign me a 2-year lease, same rate for the next 2 years. I'll pay 1 year in advance even. She's like, nobody does that. I said, that's right. So it says, and then you know, and she goes, nobody does that. I said, that's right. So would you give me an extra $1 million discount? See, it's a really cheap rent. I'm giving her something that she wants. Less hands-free, hands-off. She don't want to come back. She doesn't want to visit. She doesn't want a new lease. So I got an extra $1 million discount for the next 12 months. That's 1 month's free rent, isn't it? Basically, that's what it is. But if I had asked for 1 month's free rent, she would laugh at me. But you know, just $1 million off per month. All right, so I got 1 month's free rent. So my first month was like, free money. So that's a thing. You need to understand the landlord's pain point. She doesn't care about the money in itself. She's pretty wealthy off. She just wants somebody to take care of her property while it's appreciating. And that's what I did. I guarantee that it's appreciated. I guarantee that everything else is going to be brand new. Any holes in the walls that I put in for photos and stuff is going to be fixed, right? This place is amazing. I mean, maybe I'll show you a glimpse of it maybe here. All right, you guys probably want to see this. Like, don't blur the background. Here, I'll show you. Look at that. All right. Nice painting, even entrance painting. All right. The whole kitchen is here. It's very nice. It's all red too. I put it all red. Everything's red, but the views, it's amazing. All right. There's a river right there. All right. The rooftop pool is spectacular. You ever go to Vietnam? You definitely want to stop by here. All right. The bedroom has a view as well, too. All right. River view. Everything has an AC. So, right. Depends on who you cater to, the market that you cater to, and the other bedrooms here. Shower in the bathroom, that's pretty much standard, but right. It's cozy. It's beautiful. All right. You guys know it's a miniature flash? Mini flash. The decor I put in, right? All the stuff I bought. Because I want to look nice, high end. It's got a wine bottle even here. So the guest usually my guest stays a week and they get a free wine bottle. Right?
Yeah, we do one of our places we do if they're there for the week. We give them a gift certificate for one of the best local restaurants, so they get free dinner for 2 at it's at a really good local restaurant.
Yeah, and you know, this thing's so cheap here. Like the wine is so cheap. It costs, that wine bottle cost me less than $20 Canadian. That's a top-end Delac wine from North. Yeah. And you know what? The guests love places like this. This is a place where you want to be when you come to a place like this. You know, outside street food is so cheap, less than $2-3 for a meal, right? With coffee. So that's that. If you guys want to learn more, you know, my time's, like I said, my time's worth about $250 an hour. You can just use that calendar link there with Sua coaching, and I'll share you my inside stuff about how to set up the Airbnb. Check out the wish list. You can see the examples that I got. The villa that I got in Ubud in Bali, that cost me $500 a month. I pay for the whole year. So the lease rates there goes from anywhere between $80 to $100 a night in Bali. All right. So you can make easy money. It's just a matter of, are you going to take some action and go try it, or just, you know, sounds good, but. Whereas Andrew, Mark, and I was like, okay, we'll see you at the top when you want to get there. All right.
A bit of housekeeping, Sua. We're normally when we post our links to the videos, are we putting the videos on YouTube and then posting a link to YouTube, or are they only being posted on Facebook? Because you have a couple of people who don't.
Yeah. Sometimes I post on YouTube if the Facebook is not recording, but I think this time it recorded.
Okay, but I've also got the recording I made today, so
yes,
we'll upload
so you
that
put
to
that on
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So and we have a YouTube channel, and someone can go there and check out our previous stuff that we recorded. Correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all on there. Yeah, I can upload to my YouTube channel, and I know that Facebook Inside has a Synergy Facebook group has it. So go there. Just search our names, Steve. Search for Sua Truong. You can see my channel there, and I'm not sure about Mark Ramsey.
Yeah, I'm out there too. I haven't got any. I haven't got any of this. I've only got a little bit of real estate stuff on there right now. But
most of my stuff on there is teaching about commercial financing, Steve. So, but I do have a channel there.
Yeah.
Hey guys, just come with us, man. It's so much fun. You know, like Mark and I, we're connected years ago. 5, 6 years, hey Mark?
No, it's more than that.
But it's been fun. It's been fun watching you grow and me grow. And it's like we're all around the world now. We're moving away from Canada and enjoying the time of our life and making money. And really, hey, making friends at this level is so cool, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're higher up than anybody else. We're greater than everybody else. It's like, no, it's just like we're different. Like we're not any better, but we don't settle for what's being pushed around Canada, what's being pushed around North America. We just doing our own thing. That's what it is, right? Right. Join the group. Like this is fun. This is where life should be.
That's right.
Make money and travel, or fine, be where you're at, but have the freedom to have different options in life, right? Not get tied down. Right? Bring your family to Costa Rica, heck, anywhere. Yeah, stop paying attention to the media. I laugh when I watched on the news. I just like, this is stupid. They're just making you guys sheeps. Like you just, who cares about Biden? Who cares about Trump? Who cares about what Justin Trudeau's doing or not doing? I don't care anymore. I'm taking my money outside to invest I'm investing my money where I'm treated best. I'm like royalty in Vietnam and in Bali, right? And same with Mark. He's like royalty down there. Whereas we're back in Canada, we're just we're just another number. We're just a bunch of schmucks, just barely getting by.
Yeah, we've now got 3 big development projects coming up here in Costa Rica. So yeah, things are starting to really rock and roll down here. So
yeah. My Bali project, we've got 8 villa, bamboo villa, infinity pool, looking at outwards of this wide 270 degrees view of the rice field. It's just spectacular. It's heavenly. Right? So I'm just saying, guys, just even Ruben, he's cool. Like, man, talk to Ruben. Like, that's an amazing dude.
If you want to start talking about self-storage, talk to Ruben. He's the man.
Thank you, guys. Hey, it's been a pleasure.
For a guy who can only speak English, thinking that, we come to Canada, we have maybe have a chance of a life and have a chance of small opportunity. Look at him, man. He's creating big opportunities for other Canadians. That's ridiculous.
Yes, Ruben became part of a mastermind group that another gentleman and I started, David Arreste, 5 years ago. We just had a kind of a 5-year anniversary while I was in Vancouver a few weeks ago. And
wow,
the difference between what Ruben was doing when we started that group 5 years ago and what he's doing now, it's utterly amazing. The guy is just taken the bull by the horns and gone all in. It's just, yeah, what Ruben's been doing has been amazing. It's fun to watch.
Yeah. Thank you. And I'm going to come to visit you, Sua, one of these days.
Hey, anytime. We got a place for you. Either Vietnam and, in the luxury places here or in Bali. Right?
Yeah.
Live in heaven, man.
He's coming to visit me first.
So,
yeah.
yeah,
Costa Rica first.
yeah, because you're closer. It's all good. It's all good. Hey, next time we have live masterminds over here, right? This is what life should be like this. This is like this is. Honestly,
yeah, we had our first in-person mastermind meeting in July when I was in Vancouver. It's the first one we'd had since COVID started, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
All right, guys. I think unless anybody's got any more questions they want to throw at us in the chat or whatever. Sue, did you want to finish off with anything?
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, if you guys want more stuff, I have a ton of stuff that I haven't shared. Like the checklist and stuff, the laundry list. The stuff that you need to buy on Airbnb, I got a ton of them. I have all of the stuff you can buy from Amazon. I got a whole entire list of items that you should buy and etc.
Yeah. And if anybody wants to chat about PMS, property management systems, minute devices, all these different things that will help your short-term rental excel. And once you've got these systems set up, you can just start adding unit, and it just becomes so much easier. Scaling is easy once you get it, once you're set up with a system you like. And if anybody wants to chat with me about what we use and why we use it, just drop me a line. And same thing with Sua, he'll tell you what he uses and why. So
yeah, you have all our contacts on there, all also on Facebook too. So just message us, guys. All right. Appreciate your time. Thanks everybody for coming. And feel free to get in touch with any of us. All right, we're here for you. We're just like you. All right, you're just starting at a longer trail behind us than us. That's all. All right, we're all the same, heading the same direction.
Yeah, and thanks for Andrew for co-hosting tonight as well, and for everybody.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Andrew. It's fun. This is enjoyable. Right? It's open session most of the time. So I look forward to the next one, guys. Feel free to connect with us and get yourself on the same road as we are, right? Sooner or later you get to where we are if you haven't started yet, but start. That's all I say. Okay.
And don't be afraid. And don't be afraid to fail, because you just like I said, it becomes a learning experience. You just go at it again.
Yeah, none of us have failed at anything yet, right?
That's right. Yeah, never failed anywhere. No. All right, guys, take care. Have a great evening.
Take care. A good one.